So I have a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about today. This was supposed to be a completely different video, but now I want to have this discussion with you. The dynamic has changed, the thought process has changed, and some things have transpired that I think are far more important than the initial video that I was going to post. I do want to talk to you today about Kim Kardashian getting booed and try and work that out in my brain, because the whole situation behind it's just really confusing to me. So we're going to chat about that. J-Lo, still being J-Lo, and the Met Gala, but different from what I was initially going to talk about. So we're going to get into it, we're going to chat, we're going to hang out. If that sounds cool, stick around because I'm about to get into it. But before I do, if you haven't already, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, come hang out on the channel. It'd be really great to have you here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Kim Kardashian went to, on the 5th, a roast for Tom Brady. And if you haven't seen this, it's kind of mind-blowing. I don't know if Kevin Hart invited her or what went down with that. It is something that aired on Netflix, but I happened to catch little snippets of it here and there on social media, and that was more than enough for me. She was there to do a roast for Tom Brady. She got up on stage, she does the roast, and this is how it went.
Well, thank you. I know a lot of people make fun of your height.
Now I have what's posted there from actual Netflix, where I think they cut out a lot of the booing, and I also had found a TikTok that was posted from someone that was actually at the event.
All right, Kevin. I know a lot of people make fun of you. People don't know. You're pretty mean. Which makes you the smallest black dick.
All of those people were just booing, and you could hear them saying all kinds of terrible things, no talent, this, that, and she stood there through the whole thing and just kept doing her deal. I don't know, man. I'm only gonna do a little makeup today. I just want to kind of spruce up a little bit so I don't look so exhausted. That's a good way to say it. My whole point of this is that people are tired of the Kardashians. And the very next day, on the 6th, she showed up at the Met Gala, and she got roasted again for her non-existent, people were saying, Ozempic waist, and that she was, you know, with her extreme corseting, kind of putting out a negative perspective, which I feel like her entire family has done for a very long time, for young people to try and live up to this unrealistic body that it's just, you can't attain. It's just not even possible. I mean, if there's anyone that's like that, there's very few people that can get to where they're at physically, and what's needed to get to that point is something that most of us aren't capable of doing. We don't have the personal trainers, we don't have the dietitians, we don't have the corseters and the, you know, and the surgeries, and you can't tell me that they haven't had things done. They have. We know they have. So it's not a natural physique that they have there. But to portray that, it's damaging to people who don't know, young people who aspire to be like them, who look up to them. So she got flack for that as well. It didn't go good for her. And that sweater that she had on, people were giving her a hard time for wearing that. Had like peeling on it, looked like it was just a, you know, a little sweater that she grabbed at the last minute from her closet. And that's what she tried to play on, you know, when she was being interviewed about it. She said, oh, it's, you know, my hair's tousled and I just was on my way to work in a hurry, grabbed my boyfriend's sweater and ran out. It goes along with the theme. I don't think it went along with the theme. And I know in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that important, but when you look at the dress and you think about the Met Gala and how it's about fashion and looking your absolute best and going along with the theme, they would have wanted from Kim to, you know, bring her 100%. And I found another TikTok, and I just don't know if this is real or not. There's a young lady that posted something, and it's got quite a few views, where she had said that the Kardashians were wanting a refund from the Met Gala because they didn't get enough exposure, and having to pay all that money just to attend the event, that they didn't get their money's worth and that they were wanting some kind of a refund. I don't know if that's true. I tried to look it up. I wasn't able to find anything else about it. I don't know if that I would be surprised if that were something that were to happen. I think I'd be like, oh yeah. I could see that being a thing, but I don't think that actually occurred. I don't know where that young lady got that information from, but I did see a TikTok on that, and I did scroll her comments, and there were people saying, there's no proof of that. Do you have proof? And, you know, there was nothing I was able to find on it, but again, there's a part of me that's kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if something like that would actually occur, because the Met Gala is not cheap, and we all know that they want to stay in the public eye, and they're grasping onto their last moments of, fame before they become completely irrelevant, because it's just a matter of time before it happens. And if you love the Kardashians, hey, listen, more power to you, but you have to admit, they do not pack the same punch that they used to. Most celebrities don't have the same kind of excitement that they used to. Some do still. I mean, it's Hollywood is changing so much, and that's when I'm going to segue into the Met Gala itself. So let's go ahead and get into the Met Gala. So the theme of the Met Gala was A Garden in Time. It was based on a short story written by J.G. Ballard in 1962. It's a science fiction story about a young aristocratic couple. They have a beautiful, fancy home filled with beautiful, luxurious things, a gorgeous garden, and they're enjoying their wealthy, happy life. Off in the distance, they notice a mob that is encroaching on their happy home and all their beautiful things. And their perspective is that this mob, these people, they're not a part of their life of wealth and luxury, and they wouldn't be able to appreciate the beauty and the splendor of their lives. So they have this magical garden where if they pick a flower, it buys them more time, and the mob is pushed off. So they continue picking these flowers to try and stave off the mob until they run out of flowers, and they're no longer able to hold off the mob. And I think in the book, they both turn to stone. And when people finally reach their expensive home and all their fancy things, they've all turned to ruin. And it made a lot of people wonder if Anna Wintour was throwing out a prediction of things to come. So it was about a night of splendor. Now for me, and for many of us, we like to tune in to the Met Gala to see the clothes and the stars, and they're walking the carpet, and they look beautiful or strange and unusual, the artistry of the fashion. I mean, I'm not well versed in fashion, but I can appreciate it. It's beautiful, it's entertaining. So when I first was watching the Met Gala, I thought, oh, this is as usual. It's pretty, it's different. There's, in past Met Galas, there's been drama and things happening. So of course I tune in to see like what's going to go on in the evening, and the good and the bad, and the outfits that are just kind of like, what the hell are they thinking? Anna Wintour decided to go ahead and go along with this theme, and everyone is dressed, in their best garden kind of attire. And I thought there were some beautiful gowns, truly, and I did have an appreciation for that as it was. And like I said, J-Lo, being herself, was very dismissive.
J-Lo, you look amazing. What are you wearing? What are you wearing tonight?
She just gives quick remarks, and I think she was one of the announcers. Another thing that was interesting about the night is that there weren't that many people that were from YouTube or TikTok. You just had a lot less influencers as opposed to previous Met Galas where there were several influencers there. Well, this time around there were only a few. One of the few was Hailey Bailey, and she's a TikToker. She now has 10 million followers, and a lot of that was from what she had posted during the Met Gala. She wore a Marie Antoinette inspired gown, and she posted something that had a lot of people really upset.
Let them eat cake.
Who took the bomb?
Now, a lot of people are coming forward today saying, do you know the story of Marie Antoinette? And they're calling her out, and she's posting her apology saying, I just went ahead and wore this, because I was inspired by Marie Antoinette. I didn't want to, hurt anyone's feelings or do anything to upset people. I was just, wanting to go along with the theme of the Garden of Time. The idea of the let them eat cake goes very much in line with Kellogg's saying let them eat cereal. So people are watching the big picture, in the sense that not far away from there were people that were protesting the war, and they wanted to try and disrupt the Met Gala. And there's just so much going on in the world right now. There's so much human suffering. So we're watching these people, and that's why I just had a whole different take on it and decided to make a different video, because watching these people that have paid, some of them $75,000 just themselves to attend this gala, others who have spent $300,000, upwards of that, for a table at the Met Gala. People are watching this, and they're looking at what's going on in the world, and they're seeing these wealthy individuals walk these carpets in their fancy clothes, and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go ahead and have an evening of wearing, you know, these wild garments and having their picture taken, to sit down and have a dinner. Where Anna Wintour, by the way, there are some things that you can't have according to her dislikes for the Met Gala. You can't have garlic, you can't have onions because she just doesn't like the smell of it or the taste of it or something like that, and you can't have parsley because it might get caught in people's teeth. So it's just freaking crazy. So watching all these people and knowing what's going on in the world, it just started, like I said, to take on a different perspective. And a lot of the comments that Hailey Bailey was getting was very Hunger Games, and people just went down the whole rabbit hole of the Hunger Games, and it is like that. And if you haven't seen the Hunger Games, it's very much about the wealthy that take the impoverished people in the surrounding districts and make them fight to their end for their entertainment, basically is what it is. And you know, the people in the other districts, they're starving, they're struggling, much like what's going on in the world right now. There's a lot that's happening. Even here in California and Nevada and Texas and Arizona, where 99-cent stores are closed down, that was a lot of produce and food that was affordable for people who are barely getting by as it is. They needed those places. And I know we have Dollar Tree and Dollar Family, but it was like a supermarket, and now it's closed because they can't keep up with the cost that it is to keep it open, to keep people paid. It just, they went into bankruptcy. They couldn't do it. And then you tune into the Met Gala and you see, you know, your J-Los and these individuals like Hailey Bailey who are privileged. And I don't want to take away from the people who have earned their place being entertainers. It's not an easy job to get into, and you know, it requires talent, the people who can sing, who can act, and you know, I admire that. I can't do it myself. I think that's great, but I feel like the pedestal that these people are on is something that I think things are shifting, and we're starting to realize that what we're seeing are, yes, they're talented individuals. Some of them look very beautiful or unique, and they have a skill that not all of us have, and it's wonderful to listen to and or watch and see. It's entertaining, but at the end of the day, they're just people. They made their way to their success, and good for them. But I feel like things have broadened now, and we're starting to see other things that are more important, people that need help, and people that need resources, and wars that need to end. And watching these folks walk up and down these runways in their fancy dresses and stuff like that just doesn't hit quite like it used to. So back to Hailey. She posted that apology where it was just something that was inspired by Marie Antoinette. She has kept that video up since then that has gotten so many people, you know, riled up and just kind of focused on, you know, the districts and how we're all struggling, and it's very much an eat the rich kind of scenario. I don't know if she's going to come out with a further apology. I'm sure she'll come out and say something eventually, but I just think that things are, like I said, the perspective is changing, and people are starting to go off in a different direction. I mean, we still like movies and stuff like that, but I think even larger influencers and people who are just, you know, not that they won't still get views, they will, but I think that the idea of all of it is becoming less and less important as we see other things come to the forefront that are far more in need of our attention, as opposed to, you know, watching, you know, even though Zendaya is a beautiful young girl and I loved her outfit, it's just not going to have the same kind of importance that other things in the world, you know, have right now. So yeah, I was just watching it, and after watching the TikTok that she posted, it was frustrating to me too. You know, you've got people protesting not far away. You've got things happening in life that are just so much more important than a fancy gown. So I thought, here I am sitting down, trying to look a little more awake, and just wanting to talk to you guys about watching all of that and knowing the current state and what's going on in the world, not just with like here in the United States, but just really everywhere. And it's just such a strange time. And it is very dystopian, and it is giving Hunger Games. And to go as far as to say that there were some corresponding costumes in the Met the other night that had me thinking, well, that does kind of look like, but I think that's just a little too, you know, it's a little too far off the point. The point is that we really need to stay focused on, you know, what's important and really just take care of one another. And it's okay to enjoy celebrity and and watch movies and stuff like that. Obviously, it's fun, it's entertaining, and you know, I love a good movie or a good book or a good song. Like I just bought the new Taylor Swift album, and I can't stop listening to Florida. It's like stuck in my head. So there's nothing wrong with it. I just think that we need to have a different perspective on what we're looking at, and we're looking at a person who has a talent, and it's great to appreciate that, but to put them so high up like there's some kind of deity is just, I think, gone are the days when we're doing that, and we're just taking a whole new look at what Hollywood is and what entertainment is, and it's changing. The landscape is changing, you know, because of everything that's going on. It's inevitable. I just wanted to sit down with you guys and talk about, you know, all that's going on and get your thoughts and opinions on it. Are you still looking at celebrities in the same way, or do you feel like things are changing and shifting? You know, do you see the difference that's happening? And it's not to be a downer, like let's just focus on there. I mean, we all need an escape, but does it have the same importance as it once did, or is it changing? I mean, I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. Let's go ahead and have a conversation about it. Yeah, that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. As always, I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you all in the next one. Bye!